July 5th, 2024. This is a day that everyone in Bangladesh remembers. It was a day that started like any other during the monsoon season, hot and humid. But it ended with the sound of a nation's anger. For many years the people of Bangladesh had suffered. Prices were going up and people couldn't afford basic things. Young people couldn't find jobs and they felt hopeless. The government was corrupt. People were afraid to speak up because they might be silenced. The Awami League, once a symbol of hope, seemed to have forgotten the people. The gap between the rich and the poor was getting bigger and bigger. Nobody seemed to listen to the problems of the poor. The promises of a fair society were broken. The people of Bangladesh were tired of waiting for change. They were ready to fight for their country. From the busy streets of Dhaka to the quiet villages, everyone was angry. They had been disappointed for too long. They remembered the spirit of 1971, the year Bangladesh fought for its freedom. They knew what it meant to fight for their rights, and they were ready to do it again. The trouble began in the universities of Dhaka. The students, who often speak up for what's right, started to protest. They were upset about unfair rules for government jobs. But this was just the beginning. They were also angry about the government taking away their freedom and treating them unfairly. The government responded quickly and violently. On July 15th and 16th, peaceful student protests were attacked. Awami League supporters armed with sticks hurt the unarmed students. The police, who should have protected the students, joined the attackers. Tear gas filled the air. The streets of Dhaka, usually full of life, became a place of fear. Speaker 1, we just wanted a fair chance, a future. But the government treated us like enemies, not their own people. Speaker 4, the violence was terrible, but it only made us stronger, more determined to fight for our rights. On July 16th, something terrible happened that shocked the world. Abu Syed, a bright university student, was killed during the protests. A policeman shot him, and he died. A video of the shooting spread quickly online. People everywhere were horrified to see Abu Syed's body lying on the ground. This tragic event changed everything. People all over Bangladesh, from the cities to the villages, were united in their grief and anger. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, farmers, factory workers, everyone joined the protests. Abu Syed's death became a symbol of their suffering and their need for change. The government tried to stop the protests. They shut down the internet, made people stay inside their homes, and used more violence against the protesters. Journalists trying to tell the truth were attacked, but the people were not afraid anymore. They had seen what the government was capable of, and they knew they had to keep fighting for their freedom. Speaker 2, Abu Syed's death was a terrible loss, but it brought us together. We knew we had to keep fighting, for him and for everyone. Speaker 3, the world was watching. The images coming from Bangladesh were very disturbing, and people everywhere demanded action. The protests forced Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to leave the country on August 5, 2024. The Awami League was no longer in power. A new chapter was beginning for Bangladesh. Muhammad Yunus, a respected leader who won a Nobel Prize for helping poor people, became the leader of a temporary government. People felt hopeful again. Yunus promised fair elections, respect for human rights, and an end to corruption in the government. Bangladesh had a lot of problems to solve. The country was deeply divided, and the fight for a truly free and fair Bangladesh was not over. But the People's Uprising of 2024 showed the world that the people of Bangladesh were strong and determined. They still believed in a better future, and they had taken the first steps towards achieving it. Speaker 5, we have a long way to go, but if we all work together, we can rebuild our nation. The people will decide our future.